I feel like we digress slightly. That works because in college, I don't know if this happened at other colleges, but at my college, you got a number after your name depending on what order you were found. So, like by the end of college, there was up to Steve 5, and I was Steve 1, which was a big deal. To the point where
Oh, I
I got to just be Steve. I didn't even have to be Steve 1.
oh, okay, so you just started counting it too.
Yeah, so like, well, about like a month into the semester, which is a weird amount of time, we got another roommate also named Steve, and so everyone was like, "Well, he's Steve too." And then another Steve showed up just like socially, and they were like, "Well, you're Steve 3." And it just escalated from there.
So I had one of my very good friends in college, and still to this day is also a Sam. So that's how I became Big Sam, and he was Little Sam.
I
And
remember
we
Little
still
Sam.
go, yeah, we still go by those names. But the funny thing is, he's not little. Like I'm big, but he's easily an average sized person. So it was a good thing that we never met another Sam, because then we would have had to like rearrange the names if the other Sam was either larger or smaller.
Yeah,
Because he really was just a medium sized Sam.
it was weirdly done by dorms where we were, because in my dorms you were numbered, but in my wife's dorms you were given a characteristic. Like there was Curly Paul who had curly hair, and then there was like Gay Paul, and then there was Straight Paul, because not because he was not gay, but because he had straight hair as opposed to Curly Paul who had curly hair. College is a weird
Oh, okay.
time.
Raising those spirits. So this is our second episode. I hope everybody likes to know how I guess our name history.
Yeah, I
We've
mean
had a
that
lot of it. We've If you
that
listened to the last episode, you know we have a lot of weird name history with this show.
yeah, I mean we're just following the trend. Although honestly, who knows? That could end up in a Dad's Digress. We might have just gone too far off too quickly.
Oh, well, I mean, that'll be up to you until I can get some editing, until I get a computer that's good enough to do editing on.
Fair enough. So this is our second
Should we
episode.
start?
No, we're not
Should we?
starting
No,
over.
we're not starting over. No, this is good. That was
Th-
all gold.
can we talk about? Can we take a minor detour here?
Oh, sure.
Can we talk about just how amazing book covers were in the 90s? Especially like scholastic books. Like, I'm just looking at these Bailey Kids book covers, and they have such My Teacher is an Alien energy. I just remember like being in the library in the 90s and looking at all these books and being like, what the hell is what is happening here? What is this? I must open this. Like
Sure.
I was doing some research for this podcast, and I ended up on the wiki for all the scholastic books for every single year in the 90s, trying to track some stuff down. And just like seeing all these covers was just like flashes of like all these memories of things that I hadn't thought of, but just absolutely insane. Like the Hardy Boys meet Nancy Drew and they're driving around in a Corvette and it's going off of a bridge, and you're just like, what is this? Is a book for fifth graders. What is happening here? I love it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, looking online right now, I found three different covers for Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots, which I think was again the first book of the Bailey School Kids. So there's our original like late 80s, early 90s cover, which has that total energy that you're talking about that is maybe indescribable, but anybody who was there at that time would know what you mean.
Yes.
Followed by it gets a little bit cartoony, it looks like, for the second version, and then by the third version of it, I'm gonna end up putting all these on the Instagram. It gets real cartoony to the point it looks like they again really took all of the edge off of it. And it looks like probably something you'd see on. Well, it looks like PBS Kids to me. I watch a lot of PBS Kids. Oh, this is a graphic novel version I'm looking at right now. Oh, they started putting this out in graphic novel form. That could be interesting. Ooh, future episode.
Excellent.
Well, that's a little tease.
But yeah, if you just
Oh,
want to like, if you lived through the 90s and you ever saw a book, do yourself a treat and just look up like the Scholastic covers from like 1988 to like 1995. Or if you want to know kind of what we're talking about and you don't want to Google any of the books we've discussed, look up Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys Super Mysteries. They just have these insane covers for kids' books. Absolutely insane. It's a trip. But I digress.